Hi, my name is Lisa and I am doing the impromptu speech. Now some of you may have seen the Google Maps car drive around in your area, and you may even have seen online pictures of people setting up parades and holding signs and everything for the Google Map car when it goes by. Some people are really excited about having their location and their face on Google Maps for 9 months or however long Google does keep it there. Not everybody is, however, and in fact, some people would like to have Google allow them to remove private addresses from their Maps database. I disagree with this. I do not think that Google should allow users to remove, or that Google should remove addresses from the database, from the Maps database. And I say this for 3 reasons. First of all, it's already public information. Second, there's no link between people and the addresses unless the people themselves have already provided this information. And third, it's a great convenience for public safety and just simple public convenience to have maps have the addresses and residences there on the Google Maps in such detail. So first of all, with the idea that this stuff is already publicly available. All Google Maps does online is show things that you or I could see if we walk down the street. Matter of fact, we could see it, we could take a picture of it, and we could put it online if we wanted to. That's all that Google Maps does. Now, they do it on a greater scale than you and I could do it, although we could also put our pictures and link them to a particular address on various databases, or websites, whether that's Flickr or Picasa or Google Earth or Google Maps itself. So if the residence is already visible from a public area, that's all Google does. It's not private information. And if the community is private, and there have been cases where communities have said, Google Maps, you have to remove this address information from your database. And Google has done that because it was in fact private land. One case is that of North Oaks in Minnesota, which is a private gated community that that Google drove through, took pictures of, and the community said, you've got to remove it, it's private land. And Google did. So if people do want to have addresses removed from the database, all they have to do is make the land private, if they can do that, or have the community pass a law that makes such information being posted online illegal. And this is what certain countries, or what the EU has done with a lot of their privacy laws. Now second, even if the information is available online, and it is, there's no link to actual identifiable information for individuals. It's not like if you type in an address in Google Maps that it shows you pictures of people who live there or names of people who live there. In fact, all it does is have a picture, if you do the street view, a picture of the front of the residence or the building, and perhaps the address if it's on a curb or something. But oftentimes that's even blurred out. So there's not a lot of private information there. If there's any sort of car license plates, those are blurred. Individual faces are also blurred. So there's really not a lot of private information available on Google Maps anyway. And if Google does provide names on maps, it's only because that information is available in a public database, some other public database. For example, if there is a corporation that's licensed and registered there, that's the address, or if it's a nonprofit agency, or if there's a business there, then there's information provided, but that's because that stuff is available in another public database. So there's no private information that's actually released. And the final reason why Google Maps should keep that individual information, or what little they have, on Google Maps is because of public safety and convenience. I'm sure you've driven around trying to find an address someplace and you can't find the number on the street. And it's such a great help to be able to look at the street view or look from, to have the overhead view to see what the neighborhood looks like, to know if you're in the right area. That's something that's a huge benefit that Google provides by linking addresses to locations. And if they remove that, we would no longer have that available. Along the same lines is public safety, because ambulance drivers, fire departments, police officers, they all have to be able to find addresses. The more easy we can make it for them to find those addresses, the better we can have, or the more improved public safety is. So for these three reasons, the fact that this information is already publicly available, that there's no link to individuals with the addresses, and the fact that it improves public safety and convenience, I do not think that users should force Google to remove that information from their Maps database. Thanks.